Spanish, diplomacy, foreign affairs. When you were a student at Miami University, did you ever imagine yourself becoming a CMO or even going into marketing?
When I got an internship at Coke in 1994, it became obvious to me that because of the kind of the nature of marketing and how it's composed and how it's about human understanding and human behavior and just things that I was drawn to, and this incredibly global nature, it kind of pieces, things fell into place. But no, I think if you'd asked me in high school, did I see myself in business or running a piece of a global organization? Probably not.
Do you have any advice for those starting out their careers, maybe thinking about marketing for the first time?
I'd say first, if anybody's starting any career, just be hungry. And if you really particularly want to look at marketing, I think the greatest marketers have depth and breadth. So they know something no one else knows how to do, but yet they can play really well with others, they can collaborate cross-functionally. Because certainly by our standards at Coke, and I certainly hope I'll bring that to Beam, it's really cross-functional, and it brings, when marketing's at its best, it brings the whole organization together.
Was there any pivotal moment that helped your career take shape?
Pivotal people that helped shape my career, for sure. People that I met that I thought were some of the greatest leaders, and therefore I wanted to emulate them. But there was not any one pivotal moment, but there were pivotal people.
What have you learned by working around the globe?
It's funny you should ask, because when I was interviewing with Beam, they were like, what makes us think you'll leave Coke and what makes us think you'll thrive outside of Coke? Which is a really fair question. If you walk into the French office of the Coca-Cola Company and think it's anything like the Chilean office, that would be quite naive. And so what I've learned is really to show up humbly. Remember that you are the minority, whatever that means. I'm now the minority at Beam. I don't have the tenure, I don't have the equity, I don't have the experience. And I just embrace the newness. And I've seen it work culture after culture after culture after culture. Look for the similarities, not the differences. And in some ways, it just falls into place.
Could you share some of the important things to keep in mind when your brand is marketing to different cultures and different types of people?
Any global brand at its core is inherently local. And so first of all, finding what that means. What is uniquely Chilean? What is uniquely Japanese? But recognizing that every culture wants to grab onto something bigger. And it's this fine line of what does that look like without feeling not ours anymore. And that little balance, that dance I call it, is certainly a dance we've got to do a lot of it at Beam, but certainly a dance we do a lot of at Coke. But it requires, just this recognition that while some things are transferable, some things aren't. And we just have to know what those are, and it might even be category dependent. Some categories are more sensitive in certain places than others.
You're about to take up the role of global CMO at the world's third largest premium spirits company. What about that gets you most excited?
The people. So first and foremost, about 280 people comprised of a total cross-functional group of marketing, communications, brand, product quality, innovation, R&D, family members. Got a 7th generation Beam and a 3rd generation Samuels, which is the Maker's Mark family. So, honored to have these folks to take this journey with. Love the cross-functional nature, love the global nature of it. And frankly, love that these are categories and brands whose time has come. They're deeply rich in stories. And our job is to take these stories, cultivate them, curate them, and really, frankly, engage consumers who love these brands in helping us tell these stories.
So 22 years at Coca-Cola, would you tell us about a campaign or an initiative, or perhaps some of the people that you're most proud of?
I was a part of creation of the Coca-Cola way of marketing, which took something, the company's history of 130 years, and enabled us to put together a framework for folks today, tomorrow, and in the future that could really look at how is marketing done here? What does it mean? And it became not only our philosophy, it became our common language, it became our frameworks and our tools and our methods that still lives on today.
You and your teams have worked with a lot of agencies and design firms over the years. Is there a certain quality that has impressed you the most while working with those partners?
I love the agencies that play well with others. I love putting agencies together. I think that's one of the most powerful things we can do. I know that's not always easy. Who's on first, who's on second can be tricky. When that dance is well danced, I think it's beautiful. I love agencies who truly understand they fill a void, yet are able to rise up out of that specialty and connect other dots for us. I think that's a very, very powerful capability from an agency.
What has been the most difficult part of agency partnerships?
Change. In some ways we've changed faster than agencies. In some ways agencies have changed faster than us. So we're not quite going at the same pace, and I think it even varies by discipline. We've got 50 years on brand management. We don't have 50 years of knowledge on some of what's going on in marketing now. So as a result, we're all figuring it out together. And so who's right, who's wrong, who's moving fast, who's moving slow. I think figuring that out is really difficult, but ultimately at the end of the day, I think it's about the fit with your organization. What gaps, how can agencies elevate the work we do?
Do you have any other advice for marketers or subject matter experts who are tasked with finding and managing agencies and design firms?
Be great partners, write great briefs. I think the art of a great brief is whatever that is, whatever that looks like, the charter, the scope of work, write it well, write it thoughtfully, be clear on what you want. I think money gets burned, hours get burned, feelings get hurt, egos get hurt when we aren't clear from the beginning on what we want. And then when we do that, when we start off well, the rest falls into place. So I think the art of writing a great brief and outlining the scope of work is the most important, at least the quality I find can help any young marketer, any marketer period, do their best work with an agency.
Well, you've been one of the more memorable marketers that I've worked with over my career. Do you have any advice for people coming up, any tips for whether they're women leaders or people that are growing their career and have ambitions to become a CMO or a vice president in a marketing organization? Do you have any tips for them?
I never really thought about the position. I just thought about doing whatever work I was in, doing the best possible work that I could do. I always believed in taking bets on people. People took bets on me. And so I believe and almost feel indebted that I owe it to others to take those bets. And I've never been let down on a bet. So I certainly encourage people to take bets. Any job is as big or small as you make it. Make it big. Find the ways to add value in an organization, even if it's not in your job description. Toss the job description aside. If you believe there's value to be created by doing something, I've never seen an organization say, no, don't do that. So look for ways to create value, take good care of people, and the rest takes care of itself.